Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Where in the World is Juliet? I needed to do this video. I haven't done one in a long time. I've been kind of sick, really, for about a year with different things that are going on. I wanted to kind of explain, especially right now, why if you have to be in a medical situation, you have to be smart and advocate for yourself. So, I have one medical issue that was going on where I'm potentially facing cancer, and I was supposed to have a medical procedure done so they could rule it out and hopefully solve the problem. It kept getting delayed for one reason or another, and now I realize that had it not been delayed, the procedure itself would have killed me. I had some type of a massive pulmonary infection, and didn't know it. Anyway, so for the last month, I think I have been in the hospital 26 days in the last 30, something like that. So I went to the hospital because I was in real crisis and couldn't breathe, and they admitted me with a massive pulmonary infection, sinus infection, and double pink eye. That was a month ago. I was in the hospital for 5 days on IV antibiotics and treatment, and then they were like, "You're good, go home." And they sent me home with some antibiotics. Well, I paid attention to my labs a lot, and I noticed that as they're getting ready to discharge me, my white blood count was going up. So I mentioned that to the doctors, and they said, "Oh, that's because of the prednisone." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm feeling worse again now that I'm off the IV antibiotics." And they didn't listen to me, and they sent me home. And 4 days later, I was back in the hospital, but now I'm back in the hospital with sepsis. So the infection had moved into my bloodstream. Now I'm on the IV antibiotics again. And, I wanted to go back. I'm sorry. When I was being discharged, this is the stuff you have to think about. When I was being discharged from the hospital and knew I was feeling worse, I wrote on the discharge paperwork that I was feeling worse and that my white blood count was rising and that I thought that that was a concern. So then I came home, was home for like 4 days, went back into the hospital, this time with the way worse situation. I didn't even realize how bad it was. I was in an observation. First, I was in the emergency room for a full day, and then I was in an observation room. And it turned out later, when I asked the doctor a question about the observation room, he said, "Well, we were trying to save your life." Okay. Then I went and I was in the hospital, and they were for another, I think, 4 or 5 days. I mean, it's all just such a blur at this point. And that was additional on top of the observation and stuff, like an extra 5 days. And my white blood count started going up again right before they're getting ready to discharge me. So I said, "I'm concerned. My white blood count's going up." "Oh, don't worry about it. That's the prednisone." I said, "Okay." So I came home. I took the medication. I don't think I was home for 2 days before I'm back there in severe crisis again. My eyes are still swollen from and it's so much better. I mean, I had little teeny slits and couldn't open my eyes. And so I had written on the paperwork again that again I was concerned. And I went to go see my primary care physician, which was just a joke unto itself. They told me this was my new normal, that this was my new life, and like I just had to find acceptance for it. And I was like, "No, I can't breathe. I mean, this is not, something's wrong." And so I again wound up with sepsis and back in the hospital again. And several days in, the respiratory doctor, pulmonary doctor, said something about a test called a bronchoscopy, where they go down into your lungs and see what's really going on. And I'm like, let's do that. And so they didn't do it. And every day I asked about the bronchoscopy for 4 days. And finally, after 4 days, they said, let's do it. They did the bronchoscopy, and it turned out that my lower left lobe and my lower right lobe had collapsed. And they needed to go in and basically wash the inside of my lungs in order to open it back up. And then I went back into the hospital room, and 2 days later I'm discharged. I know that, like, to people I probably don't sound that great, but right now I sound fabulous. I did not have a voice at all, literally at all, for about a month. And I can breathe now, and I couldn't breathe before. So because I advocated for myself and wrote all the paperwork stuff, that's the reason I wound up getting the treatment that I needed. And so currently our medical situation is so screwed up that you have to advocate for yourself and or family if you're having an issue. I just want people to be aware that you can fight for you. Just because there's a doctor doesn't mean that they know. It's your body. That's what I kept telling them. But it's my body. I've lived in my body for 60 years. You're talking about, like, what you know from books. I'm going by what I've lived. Anyway, I'm really on the mend now, and I can breathe now, and I'm home. And I feel a lot more comfortable. And I just wanted you guys to know that you have to advocate for yourself. I mean, I still have to have the other procedure done, but if I had had that procedure done, I would have died if with this going on in my lungs. My heart rate's been through the roof. It's more normal now. But it's because my heart was working so hard to keep my oxygen rates even remotely normal that I was, like, in danger of heart attacks and stuff. And I just kept pointing it out to them, but my heart rate, but my this, but my that. So you have to learn what your normal is. Like, I know that they say temperature is 98.6, right? But that's not true for everybody because my average is like 97.5. So once I'm at like 99.2, I'm starting to exhibit fever symptoms, and other people aren't. It depends. I know people who run hot. I know people that run cold. You have to advocate for yourself, okay? And advocate for your family. I had a lot of great support people that were really helpful, and I'm really grateful for who they are and what they've done, and thank you if you're watching. I can't begin to tell you what a journey this last year has been medically for me. So, but we're going to make it, and the med beds are, I don't think, that far away, and I think we're looking at a lot of changes. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the other side. I think we're right here, and I'm humbly grateful that God is allowing me to see this through. Anyway, have a great day.